On Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy, the back page with David Riccio. When automation is key to your business's success, trust Conveyor Logistics for your warehouse automation solutions.
Morning, David.
Yeah, good morning, boys.
Big Nelson. No surprise that he wasn't able to swing the judiciary his way, but 5 weeks. What do you think about the whole situation?
I think there's no denying it's a significant penalty, guys. 5-match bans. They're not common throughout this season. We haven't seen too many 5-match bans, and the weight of missing a grand final is obviously that's tough to take. But it was interesting last night. The judiciary panel were encouraged not to take in the emotion of missing a grand final when considering their verdict. It was a 90-minute hearing, guys. It only took 10 minutes for the panel to determine that Nelson was guilty of that high shot. Look, as I said, significant penalty. I don't necessarily agree it should have been a grade 3. On the comparison of other grade 3s that I've seen this year. And look, there's no denying the Lindsay Collin concussion, the way he got up and played the ball in the complete opposite direction, that played and failed to play any part in the remaining of the match. That played a factor as well in the charge. So,
David, do you know what their defence was? What do you know what they argued? Was their argument point of contact?
Yeah, and also mitigating circumstances due to the pressure of the other defender coming in from the side. And that was effectively it. But ultimately, Brandy, as we all have watched it on numerous occasions, look, direct contact is with the head. And whilever the game is currently being governed as it is, the onus is on the defender. The onus is on the defender, and that's where it fell away for Big Nelson.
Which does makes any kickoff situation dicey for the defenders. It makes it. This could happen again so easily. It could happen on Sunday night. 3 players run in to collide, not tackle, just collide with the ball carrier, and that's where you leave yourself open for a little bit of footwork, a stumble, a drop from the player carrying the ball. You leave yourself open to that happening. And do we want to see a send-off?
But Brandy, you understand the game, and you've made this point a number of times. There's human movement. If you're carrying the ball forward, when you brace for impact, you do dip.
You drop.
You don't brace for impact, bolt upright. You will. You will
never
drop a little bit. Is that ever mentioned in the judiciary? As I said, move it away from the court of law and legal process. Talk about the facts of the way the game is played. Bumper bars come up, elbows come up. You know what I mean? There's lots of things happen in a split second in a rugby league tackle in trying to pull down 110 kilos running at you with 110 kilos sprinting up at you.
Yeah, and
accidents happen.
That's right.
Now this
but I don't know where do we go? Where do we go with it? And so we don't know where we go. Let's move on to the next subject. Madge Maguire. We've just spoken about the survey, but a big day for Madge, despite all that's happening in the background.
Oh, yeah, it's hugely significant, not only for Madge, guys, but certainly the Brisbane Broncos. There's no more spotlight no heavier spotlight on an NRL club than the Brisbane Broncos. They're a powerhouse, and they expect success, and that didn't come their way clearly this year. So the appointment will come this morning officially, guys. Michael Maguire appointed to a 3-year deal at the Brisbane Broncos. And from that, guys, we'll start to head down a new path of what does that roster look like? What does the contract situation look like for the Broncos under Michael Maguire? He will come in and have his own say on that roster. I'm of the firm belief this was done some time ago. Certainly before the news broke last Thursday night that Kevin Walters had been sacked. I'm certain that the Broncos had identified and spoken with Michael Maguire and got some type of convivial discourse to suggest that he would be taking the job. It's certainly caught the New South Wales Rugby League by surprise. I'll say that. And
really, where have they been? What have they been doing? Because Kevin, you're right,
when the
David.
Story broke,
David,
Brandy,
yeah, you're right about them talking to Maguire before the last week. I think Kevy's papers were stamped after the two losses to finish the season. The Dolphins, the Melbourne Storm, 40 and 50. They missed the finals. They would have been in discussions with Michael Maguire they're announcing him now. The review only just finished. So, of course, surely New South Wales would have gone, wow, gee, I think Madge might be a chance to get this Brisbane job.
Yeah, chance, yes. Formally, no. And what I mean by that is certainly all discussions I have with the New South Wales Rugby League come Friday, when news is breaking that Kevy's been sacked overnight and that Michael Maguire's the front runner. There was still no real communication either from Michael Maguire or his camp to New South Wales Rugby League to actually confirm, hey, I've had some discussions here.
Wow.
And so that's what I mean by that, Brandy, that they weren't.
Yep.
They weren't completely on the same page, but
bit of Eddie Jones Japan stuff about that, really, isn't there? Like, is that what you're saying, that they needed to sit him down and say, "So, have you spoken to Japanese rugby before the World Cup started?"
Yeah,
he said no
offer,
nothing, no. I can only tell you. No, I can only tell you. Now, I've known Michael Maguire a long time, but it's a media coach relationship. Great respect for him. Know how hard he works. Like, it's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. I'm declaring it. He gets up. His body clock gets him up at 4 a.m. every day, and he trains 6 of the 7 days a week. Still, at his age, he trains. That's his regime. That's his military-style regime. I did a function with him last Friday week. Last Friday. Hang on, when was it? I did it last Friday. I did the function with him. And if he had not spoken to the Broncos, he's a bloody good actor. Or if he had spoken to the Broncos, he's a bloody good actor. Because he got up preaching the New South Wales word to a crowd and was excited about next year's series and everything he'd put in place this year. And if the next year's series was starting the next week, he was ready. He loved the experience. So I don't know whether Michael Maguire's got that acting ability in him to get away with that in front of a big group.
You're saying and talk so that was last Friday
about last Friday. Yeah, Harvey Norman commercial, Dalton House.
Right. So you're saying that from your
before.
point of view,
That's the
Andrew,
week before. It's the week before. It's the Friday before. I'm saying 1 week before the Kevin Walters announcement. 1 week before. Let's correct that. So last Friday week I did the function, and I'm saying that's 1 week before the Kevy news, or 6 days before the Kevy news lands. I'm saying no one's spoken to Michael Maguire 6 days out. David, I'm going to put my cue on the rack on that opinion. You have a different opinion.
Yeah. Oh, look, no, I just feel as though certainly there would have been some type of connection made. Yeah. But at the same time, Madge, preaching the Blues way doesn't necessarily mean that a contract has been signed, guys. And until a contract is signed, he's coaching the Blues. So
that's true.
That's probably why he was more than excited to lead the Blues next year. Look, at the end of the day, guys, it's now left the Blues, New South Wales Rugby League, back on a search for an Origin coach just 12 months after securing Michael Maguire. It's going to be fascinating because really there aren't any new candidates that weren't around last year. And so the list are the names that we heard last year, and also we'll hear again in the likes of Ricky Stewart, Laurie Daly, Michael Ennis. I heard a call in early with Jeff Tuvey. All the current assistants will be putting their name forward: Matt King, Brett White, and so this process. Remembering, guys, it took until probably it was around November, December last year pushed into January, to be fair, before Michael Maguire's announced. So this is going to be a process, guys.
Oh, this is a bigger decision than when Madge took over, because Madge always did seem like he had his nose in front of most of the other candidates, because of what he'd been able to do with the Kiwis. And now, whether that was right or wrong, the fact that the Kiwis beat Australia 30-0 seemingly had him in front.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I don't know who's got who's
there's
who's
no
favourite
genuine
for this
front
one.
runner. No, there's no genuine front runner. Look, the New South Wales Rugby League.
Yeah.
The New South Wales Rugby League will tell me that they always knew Michael Maguire had an ambition to be an NRL coach, and it was a 2-year deal with the Blues, with a bonus option should he succeed in next year's series. He would have got a 3rd year. Now they argue that this, yes, probably the process may have surprised them, but ultimately the path of Michael Maguire leaving to become an NRL coach doesn't, and that therefore they always had thoughts in the back of their mind where they would need to go to next should Michael Maguire become an NRL coach. Again, that's easier said than done. So we'll see. I just think this will be, as you said, Brandy, a fascinating process, because it'll be the same names, and of which there was only ever one clear front runner last time around, and that was Michael Maguire.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. The assistants stay, don't they? Barrett and Teo?
Look, at this stage, yeah. Well, look, I'm certain we'll learn a lot more this morning, guys. I anticipate a Brisbane Broncos press conference with Michael Maguire, and certainly we'll get clarity around his staff. They were obviously previous appointments, but I would think so. I would think so. They're more than experienced and ready to form a pretty formidable coaching staff for the Broncos.
Very good, David.
By the way, just on the Melbourne change, have you got any mail yet on a couple of things? The replacement. So who's going to fill the bench spot 14 to 17? Christian Welsh potentially comes into the starting side. Who's the new player in the 17? Because you're talking rookie here. No matter which way we go, aren't we?
Well, certainly Vossy conversations over the weekend with the Melbourne Storm in the wake of this charge being handed down. I did ask what would be the options. And interesting you should mention Christian Welsh. He only came on with about 6 minutes remaining in that prelim final against the Roosters. So he could go from 6 minutes in a prelim to actually starting in the front row. They've also got the option of starting Big Tui Kamika. That's an option. Lazarus Valepu is the 7-game rookie that is considered the front runner to fill a bench spot, formerly with Penrith, formerly from Penrith, before joining the Storm's Queensland Cup feeder team and then ultimately the Storm. And the only other option, and potentially, if not Lazarus, is Alex Chan, of who played New South Wales Cup for the North Sydney Bears in that grand final on the weekend. So, couple of options, but certainly no serious option outside of Nelson Asafa Solomona when I say serious as far as his size and stature and what he brings to that pack for the Melbourne Storm.
Christian Welsh, plenty of experience. Grand final, state of origin, big game player. Christian Welsh, he'll handle that, no problem. David, your brilliant segment was brought to us by Conveyor Logistics for your warehouse automation solutions.
Hey, thank you, boys. Go well.
Good stuff. See you, David. Talk tomorrow.
Well done. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the last words of Cleary and Bellamy this week. Boys, go well. This is Breakfast with Vossy and Brandy, powered by Kubota. If you want a tractor, if you want a lawnmower, ride-on lawnmower, utility vehicle, have a look at Kubota. Best range and best service as well.